Welcome to the Autism Infocast. I'm Peter Clark, founder and chairman of the Autism Info Center. Our podcasts delve into every part of autism and neurodiversity, and we want to help you spread understanding, respect, and kindness for those whose lives are affected. Whether you're autistic yourself, or whether you know or care for someone who's autistic, or maybe you just come into contact with autistic people in everyday life. Either way, please feel free to check out our hundreds of articles, videos, books, and training courses at autisminfocenter.org. And I'll leave you now in the capable hands of today's hosts, Jemima and Theo. Over to you.
Have you ever felt like you're navigating a world that, well, just doesn't quite seem designed for you? That feeling, of being misunderstood, maybe a bit out of sync, it can be really isolating.
It really can.
But here's the thing, and it's powerful. You are definitely not alone.
Not at all.
So in this podcast, we're going to explore that really positive and affirming experience of connecting with other autistic people.
Yeah, finding that community.
Exactly. We want to look at why these connections are so vital, how they create that real sense of belonging, and crucially, give you some practical ways to find and build your own supportive community.
Sounds good.
So, okay, let's start with that feeling of isolation. You felt it, right? Why does the world, often built on, neurotypical social norms, sometimes feel so alien?
Well, it's often because the sort of unwritten rules, the expected ways of interacting, they just don't always align with autistic ways of being and communicating.
Right.
And what's really fascinating, and something we see highlighted again and again, is how connecting with other autistic folks creates this almost immediate shared understanding.
Instant recognition.
Pretty much. It leads to incredible validation. Things you might have thought were completely unique to you, like an incredibly intense passion for a special interest, or maybe specific sensory sensitivities.
Yeah, like bright lights or certain noises.
Exactly. Those things are suddenly recognized. Understood.
Well,
not just sympathized with, but truly understood on a deep level.
that sounds huge. I mean, think about trying to explain, say, the overwhelming feeling of a noisy supermarket to someone who hasn't experienced that kind of sensory overload.
Right. They might try to be nice about it, but...
But they don't get it, not really. Now imagine telling another autistic person, you probably just see them nodding, maybe their eyes widen a bit, because they know. They've felt that exact thing.
Precisely. That shared aha moment, it's more than just nice. It can actually feel, well, re-regulating, calming almost.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this validation, knowing your reality is shared, it's a powerful tool. It really helps build self-esteem, a stronger sense of who you are. It chips away at those feelings of isolation. It's about moving from just coping to potentially really thriving.
Okay, so we get the why. That relief, that empowerment of shared understanding is massive. But then comes the big question, right? How? How do I actually find these people, these communities? It feels like the first step is often the biggest hurdle, but there are ways in. Lots of them, actually.
There really are. And the digital world is often a great place to start.
Online stuff.
Yeah, think forums, dedicated websites, social media groups. There's a wealth of opportunity there. They can be relatively safe spaces to share experiences, ask for advice.
And maybe be yourself without feeling like you have to mask.
Exactly. Without that constant pressure to suppress natural traits, which is, as you know, incredibly draining.
So what should people look for? Search terms.
Good question. Things like autistic community, autistic support group, autistic-led organizations, those usually bring up relevant results. Of course, you need to be a bit savvy.
How so?
Well, choose communities that genuinely feel supportive and safe. Trust your gut. And, standard online safety. Be careful with personal information.
Makes sense. But what about offline, real-world connections?
Absolutely vital, too. Local connections can be brilliant. Many areas have support or social groups specifically for autistic people.
What kind of things do they do?
Oh, it varies hugely. Could be informal chats over coffee, gaming clubs, walking groups, art classes, all sorts. It's about meeting in person in a structured, understanding environment.
And how do you find those?
Larger advocacy organizations like national charities often have directories. Sometimes local councils or community centers might list groups too. Worth checking their websites.
Okay. And you mentioned special interests earlier.
Yes. This is often one of the most effective ways to connect. Think about what you absolutely love: technology, history, bird watching, anime, whatever it is. Chances are there's a club or group for it, online or offline. Joining one of those gives you an immediate, natural conversation starter.
Yeah, you already have something in common. Takes the pressure off.
Exactly. It provides a comfortable social context. It's, like you said, almost a cheat code for making connections.
And what about autistic-led groups? You mentioned those search terms.
These are really important. Groups run by and for autistic people offer a unique kind of empowerment. The support comes from genuine lived experience.
Which must feel incredibly validating.
It really does. And engaging with them often opens doors not just for support, but also for advocacy, if that's something you're interested in, helping shape a better understanding.
Okay, so let's say you found a potential group, maybe online, maybe local. How do you go from just being there to actually, building connections, nurturing friendships?
That's the next step, isn't it? And it's definitely a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
No pressure then.
Absolutely no pressure. Pacing yourself is key.
Yeah.
It's totally fine to just observe an online group for a while before posting. Or go to a local meeting and just listen, get the feel of the place.
Take your time.
Exactly. And if big groups feel like too much, maybe start smaller. Try connecting one-on-one first. You could perhaps suggest doing something related to a shared interest with just one other person from the group.
Like grabbing coffee or visiting a museum exhibit you're both into?
Precisely. Lower stakes, maybe easier to manage.
And you mentioned being yourself, dropping the mask.
Yes. Communicate authentically. It's huge. We hear so often about the sheer relief people feel when they can stop masking.
Must be exhausting holding it up all the time.
Incredibly. So these autistic spaces are often places where you can be yourself unmasked. And friendships built on that honesty, where people appreciate the real you. Those are the ones that tend to stick.
Makes sense. So authenticity is key. What else? What about basic friendship stuff?
Well, the foundations are pretty universal, right? Kindness, respect, really listening to people, showing you're interested in what they think and feel, and being honest and trustworthy. Keeping your word. The difference might be that in autistic spaces, these things are often expressed more directly, which many people find clearer and less ambiguous.
Less game playing, perhaps.
Sort of, yeah. More straightforward communication is often appreciated.
And nurturing these friendships, does it take time?
Oh, definitely. Be patient. Friendships grow gradually, and they come in all shapes and sizes. You might have a couple of really close friends, some more casual ones, maybe friends you only interact with online.
And that's all okay?
Totally okay. All valid. All valuable. And remember, everyone's different. People make mistakes. Part of being in a community is respecting those differences and being willing to forgive. That builds resilience.
So bringing it all together, what's the real payoff? What do these communities, these connections actually do for someone's well-being?
The benefits are massive, really. On a practical level, you get invaluable advice.
Like how to handle specific situations.
Exactly. Navigating diagnosis, finding suitable work, managing sensory environments. Other autistic people have often been there, done that. They have tips, strategies, lived experience insights.
And emotional support, too, I guess.
Huge emotional support. Just knowing there are people who genuinely get it, who understand your struggles without you having to explain every little detail. They can make tough times so much easier to handle. You're not carrying it all alone.
Yeah, that shared understanding again. Not having to constantly explain yourself.
That is such a relief. Explaining why you need headphones in a cafe, or why you prefer people to be direct rather than hinting. It can be tiring explaining that to people who don't share those experiences.
Right.
Within an autistic community, those things are often just understood, accepted, no explanation needed. It feels like you can finally exhale.
And that ties into the unmasking thing.
Absolutely. Because masking is so draining, these spaces offer a precious chance to just be, to interact authentically.
What does that look like practically?
It could mean feeling free to stem repetitive movements like hand flapping or rocking that help regulate your nervous system without worrying about judgment. Or being able to really talk about your special interests for ages, knowing the other person might actually be just as interested or at least won't think you're weird for it.
That freedom sounds liberating.
It is liberating, and it's essential for mental health, for conserving energy. It's where genuine connection happens, when you can be your actual self.
So wrapping up, finding your community, it's a personal journey, isn't it?
Very much so.
And it's okay to take it step by step, maybe lurk online first or try out a few different groups.
Absolutely. The goal isn't just to find any group, but to find spaces, find people where you feel understood, accepted, and valued for who you really are.
And those connections, ultimately, they empower you, support you, celebrate your strengths.
And help you thrive, truly thrive.
Thanks for listening to this Autism Infocast from the autisminfocenter.org.
Thank you, Jemima and Theo. I'm sure we've all learned something there today. Don't forget to visit autisminfocenter.org to hear our other episodes, browse our library of articles, see our inspiring range of books, watch our videos about autism and neurodiversity, and find out about training courses that can help you or your organisation make the world a safer, happier and more meaningful place for us all. If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, please feel free to spread the word about Autism Info Centre. A quick mention on your socials is always appreciated. Until next time, this is Peter Clark from autisminfocenter.org. Have a great day.